On very high alert seeing what everyone has been posting related to Palestine and Israel right now. And so far, the only author or book related person who I have seen post anything about it is Yulin Kwong, and she shared this. And I'm just here to say, don't do this. These kinds of posts, these kinds of vacuous moral high ground obfuscations, which include unverified claims that not a single reputable source or organization has shared, these detract from the actual point of what's happening, and purposefully so. This is an issue of colonization and occupation, and with regards to Gaza specifically, it is an issue of 2 million people who are forced to endure Israel's daily violence, and have been for 2 decades now. What we're witnessing is long built up resistance. It is protests. It is people who are trapped in an open air prison saying no more. You may be thinking to yourself, what about nonviolent resistance? Yeah, Palestinians have tried that over and over and over again. In 2018, tens of thousands of Palestinians marched along the apartheid barriers that keep them trapped, that imprison them, and they demanded their freedom, they demanded their rights, and what happened? Israeli snipers shot them. Thousands were murdered, including clearly marked journalists, doctors, and medics. Where was the outcry? BDS, which is also nonviolent, is scorned by Western regimes. Several U.S. states have enacted or are enacting legislation to make it, a constitutionally protected right, by the way, to make it illegal. To put this kind of text out in the world, to say these things and only these things, is to suggest an equality of violence, an equality of power, which simply does not exist. You look at the numbers. Just look at the numbers. Since 2000, there are 12 times the number of murdered Palestinians. 12 times. And that's a conservative estimate. Those are by and large civilian murders. Innocents, as you call them, which cannot be said of the inverse. That means that thousands upon thousands of Palestinians have been murdered, including women, including children, including the elderly. There are currently over 5,000 Palestinians imprisoned by Israel, thousands of whom without charge or trial. Are they not hostages? Are the 2 million people trapped in Gaza who have every aspect of their lives controlled by Israel, their access to medical equipment, to reconstruction materials, to food, to electricity, to water, who are not allowed to leave, are they not hostages? Palestinians who live in the West Bank, in Bantustans, who have their every movement controlled by Israeli soldiers and Israeli occupation checkpoints, are they not hostages? The literal children in Israeli prisons. Are they not hostages? Are they not children? These things, the desecration of corpses, the celebration of murder, not a single reputable source, I repeat, not a single reputable source has shown Palestinians doing this. Whereas there are decades of documentation of Israelis doing exactly those two things. And in fact, in 2014, when Gaza was being absolutely massacred, when Israelis themselves were saying that they wanted to bomb Gaza back to the Stone Age, Israelis would set up chairs on hilltops, bring popcorn to watch the bombings happen, to celebrate and cheer. They treated the bombings of entire families, entire bloodlines wiped out as a party. So this kind of bullshit that only ever crops up when Palestinians dare fight back, this serves the oppressor. Needless to say, this is very disappointing to see anybody post, let alone an artist whose work I admire and whose upcoming work I'm looking forward to. Other authors, to other artists, do not do this. Listen to Palestinians. To pretend that violence exists in a vacuum, that what is currently happening is unprovoked, serves the status quo of the colonizer.